And welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance. And I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by LoanBot, Smarter Mortgage Matching, now available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. So guys, gals listening out there, the last discussion we have was with Tomas, and we talked about, his journey. We talked about how motivational speaking that he does isn't really motivational speaking. He's essentially just giving you the roadmap of what he's been through. And like I say, trying not to stand on the same landmines that he did before. And today I wanted to have a little fun with some old friends that I think will be a pretty insightful discussion. We're going to be talking about new versus old school, and that's in regards to realtors, lenders, all of you out there. So without further ado, let me introduce my guests. I've got Casey Hampton. How you doing?
Hey.
Doing well?
Freaking fantastic.
I love it. Looking fantastic as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're also joined by Austin Pantuso. Austin, how are you?
Fabulous.
Yeah?
Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Pull that mic closer to you so we can hear
Happy
you.
to be here.
Yeah.
As usual.
There we go. Barry Manilow. So at the beginning of these discussions, I give you guys a moment to tell the folks who you are, a little bit about your background. I don't want to say cliff notes, but give us a little bit more. Who wants to begin?
Go ahead, Austin.
Ladies first.
Oh, look
Ladies
at
first.
you.
Go ahead.
25 years in the business, mortgage, primarily builder with Horton for 13 years, with Meritage, Sitterly, operations side. So long time in the game. Let's just, I'm going to do real cliff notes. Get to the point.
Okay, I
as
like
always
that.
do.
We'll take it. Austin,
I got to vouch for Casey because she is like one of the best.
I can vouch for her too.
She's one of
Absolutely.
the best.
Matter of
And I've
fact,
known her for a long time.
I remember
She is.
walking into DR Horton building, very wet behind the ears, green everywhere else.
It's like,
And
let's ask Casey.
you will know Casey was peeked her head out the door and was like, "Who are you?"
Brand newbie.
Yes.
But very, very experienced. Like,
So tell us, Austin, who are you?
I am a broker and president of United Realty Group.
There you
we're,
go.
We're located off of Blanco in 1604. We have owned a couple brokerages. We have two, but yeah, we rock and roll.
There you go.
You do.
Yeah,
Did a little bit of business.
a little bit. Just
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, every now and then.
So we're going to be talking today with no filter about the changes that have occurred in our industry, the we'll call it the personalities that have joined our industry, and the work ethics that one side brings, one doesn't, one does sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of nuance to this conversation, but I want to open it up with the following. How have you seen the industry change over the last, let's call it 10 years? Casey, you want to start that?
Woo.
Yeah.
Last 10 years, we have definitely gone from true marketing, visiting real estate offices, as you probably remember, a hand-to-hand connection to 100% social media.
Yeah,
Connected but disconnected.
absolutely.
Very much so.
And what's strange with that is back in, let's call it 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, I was one of those individuals that was leveraging social media to capture business, and now have switched that concept to the boots on the ground, shaking hands, presentations in person. And I'm seeing that within our industry, there are plenty of folks that get in, they throw a couple of social media videos up, and they get attention. Does that mean they get deals? I don't know. But definitely that is where the attention is going.
A good 1 to 2 percenters. The top 2 percenters, I would say, yes, the consistency. But the top 1 to 2 percenters were not always there.
Agree.
They have built and developed over the last 5-6 years. So it's been very recent.
Yeah.
Some of these social media explosions. A lot of builders have just taken on those concepts. I remember back in the day, we were all into hot on homes.
Yeah.
That was huge. All that's gone. Builder marketing departments were really involved with the real estate community. They were doing the flyers. They were doing the email blasts. Now all builder marketing departments, not saying that they don't do anything. They still do something, but it's not like it used to be. It's literally now all sales agents in the builder communities are realtors.
That's right.
They got to go cross-sell. They got to go run around, get their own business. They got to do their own social media marketing. Whereas before, The sales agents sat in the community. They sold that community. They focused on that. And the marketing team did the blast to the realtors. Not that the sales agents didn't have relationships with realtors. They did. They had to. But the marketing aspect was more focused on you focusing on your neighborhood, the customer service. I take care of my community, to now just everybody just everywhere with all builders. It's really changed.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Austin, what's your take on the last 10 years, let's call it?
I think
Because a lot has happened in the last 10 years.
like Casey said, that's how it used to be. You used to boots on the ground, right? You'd have to go, you're dropping off your cookies and your cupcakes and whatever else.
Right.
To
We
your
call them
realtor.
builder pop buys and realtor pop
realtor
buys.
offices, right? You're trying to wine and dine your realtors, right? And then COVID hit, and then you were an order taker, right?
Yeah.
And then no one did any of that, right?
Correct.
Because they were just flooded with business, including the mortgage industry. And now you're going back to what you used to have to do, which I think that's where a lot of people are falling behind. They don't know how to do that.
It's different though, because we can't even go back to what we used to, because COVID got rid of all the offices.
Yeah.
It did. There's still offices there, but you're right. You're more reaching out to agents over email, calling, texting, texting. I mean, I get texts all the time.
I know you
right?
do.
Yeah.
So from builders, but I think a lot of builders have like lost their way on how to actually reach agents. It's difficult now because, like you said, the offices are not there. So it's and same thing with lenders, right? I mean, you just get a bunch of spam emails. I don't open probably 90% of them.
Absolutely
Right?
correct.
So, because it's just another spam email is what it is. Even if I know the lender, right, or know who they are, I usually won't open it. I get so many emails as it is. You got to be more creative than that these days. So the question is, how do you be more creative to reach your audience?
Right.
So answer that. How?
So old school, I would say we got to, coming from me being in business 25 years, you're a completely retrained brain now. You either get in the mode of where it is today or you complain and you go away.
That's so true.
There's really no in
That
between.
is so true.
Social media is the way.
Yeah.
You know, you are co-branding with people. A lot of realtors are now co-branding with each other, whereas usually it was dog eat dog.
Absolutely.
Because you only get paid on your own deals. Like that's the fact. Well, some people, but anyway, we're not going to talk about the kickback people. But anyway, keeping it factual.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
There's a lot of co-branding, a lot of people trying to partner up because the fact that it is so tough.
Yeah.
So you've got to catch on to what the new wave, and the new wave is social media. It is what it is.
Right.
And if you don't want to join in, I'm not saying you can't be successful that way, because I know tons of realtors that are not literally blasted all over Facebook.
Sure.
I'm one of them.
Exactly.
I don't blast out a bunch
No,
of
you're
stuff.
right.
You're not. No,
I never
there's a
do.
lot.
Now, mind you, here's the difference is the folks, more of the folks that we're talking about now don't have the experience, don't have
Or the time in the business, the tenure, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's not even just tenure, because I know plenty of agents that you get on the phone and I've been in the business for
Yes.
X amount of years, but you don't know shit. How?
Literally.
It's how much they did while they were in the business.
Yes, sir.
That's key. Yeah, that's
You
key.
are absolutely one that was in the trenches. You were boots on the ground the whole time.
I still am.
Absolutely.
Still am. Yeah.
And a lot of the folks that are, let's call it, getting the attention from the social media post, great videos. A lot of them are non-educational, which I don't see. That is the type of content I put out there.
Sure.
But unfortunately, most don't want to learn. So it is what it is. So you've got to throw some dumb stuff in there at the same time to get their attention.
Well, and you can only see so many nice houses, pictures and videos of nice houses, right? I mean, and that's kind of what they teach you too. It has to be something that is informative and really like hits home with people, and not just showing a nice house all the time.
But you do that kind of content, you get no views, Austin. You know what I mean?
I think it just depends on what you do. And they want witty, they want funny,
Sure.
right? Catchy. That's what people like.
And then the next tier to that concept is, if I get all the attention, now what?
What do I do with it?
Education piece. That's
Yeah,
the
what do I
biggest
do with
part, is the education. Because I think we've been around long enough to where we saw everybody do the mass leave from Keller Williams to was Exit.
Yep.
That was a big explosion.
Absolutely.
The EXP.
EXP
We've seen the
started.
big explosions.
Yep.
The big issues with those developments, and why a lot of that fizzled, which you and I talked about, was because you can get the masses under you, but you don't have time to still be productive and educate.
And train.
So you'll have a
and
whole bunch of people
absolutely.
under you because you get that multi-level marketing residual.
Sure.
But then you've got all these people that are closing one deal every 5-6 months, and they don't have the knowledge because there's not enough time for you to bring on the masses.
That's right.
So,
And
and
I have
also follow your business.
I have a theory on EXP may not like it. Real may not like all of them. But at the end of the day, when that started, it was the idea of we're going to go cloud-based. This is going to be a bunch of professionals that know what we're doing. We don't need the other stuff, the fluff. But then it quickly shifted to a multi-level marketing type pitch, so to speak. You can make money and gain stock shares and this and that when the whole idea of this is not to close business. I mean, is it not to sell homes?
Right. Still be a realtor.
Right.
Right.
And I feel as though the new wave is more focused on recruiting than recruiting buyers and sellers.
It's a combination.
What would you think?
I think it's a combination. It's a combination of they want to get the masses under them because obviously numbers equates dollars.
Sure.
But the scary thing is it's just I don't think there's just enough training out there for all those agents.
I would actually say that there's plenty of training out there, but there's not enough
follow up,
follow through, enough
hand holding initially.
That or the mindset of that individual that is seeking training is the person that still is going to the trainings that aren't doing what the training is saying to do. Because honestly, how many trainings can you go to before you start actually putting it into effect?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
if you have no clients, it doesn't matter, right? Your
Absolutely.
training matters.
Yes.
So it's learning how to generate. That's what most agents struggle with, is learning how to generate business. Right?
Yeah,
They
that-
don't know how to generate business.
Correct.
And it's difficult. And usually you go with your sphere of influence first, which is like 4 people: your aunt, your uncle, your mom, your dad, your brother. Right. And then after that, then they don't know how to generate more business. And it is difficult, especially in this market. It's very difficult. And I don't want to knock any other brokerage because they all have their own method.
Yeah, that's not what we're
and
doing
their
here.
own technique, right? So, and yes, I think if you're focusing more on recruiting instead of producing, it's eventually going to be a failing model, right? Because you have to have production to keep a brokerage going. That's the lifeblood of a brokerage. Right?
Absolutely.
So you have to have production. But in all honesty, we know the stats, like 90% of the realtors, 10% of the realtors do 90% of the business.
That's right.
Yeah, 10% of the realtors do 90% of the business. It really is true. They say 80-20, but especially in San Antonio, it's true. You see the same guys and girls popping up over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
Right. So the question is, how do they do it? And that's what I tell our agents. You just have to be better than the 90%. Right?
Well, I mean, also taking a step back, what is the best form of training you can possibly get?
Shadowing.
Hands-on.
Hands-on shadowing.
Doing. I mean, the best way I learned is when it kicked me in the tail and I lost something, either money, time, whatever, but I learned.
Implementation is going to help retention. That's the bottom line. If you can't implement it, it's very hard to retain it. If you teach me something from February of this year and then you ask me to repeat it in November, I'm like,
You're right.
I don't remember. But implementation is what you need for retention.
But their excuse is going to be, I don't have clients, so how am I going to get hands-on?
So then why are you spending your time going to trainings when you should be spending your time prospecting?
You should do both.
You should do both. But again, shadowing is the alternative. You get with an agent who's successful, shadow them, let them assign you tasks, and you learn. Right?
We've talked about this on a different discussion. Matter of fact, with Rick Garza and probably JJ, we were basically talking about the idea of back in the day, including myself, when I got in the business, I was shadowing anybody that would allow me to.
Yeah,
hey, you got a customer? And that was when we met face to face. So I'm like, can I sit over here in the corner? I promise I won't say anything. I just want to see how you paint this picture to them, etc. I didn't get paid to do that. He didn't pay me. Nobody paid me to do that.
It's worth its weight in gold already. The knowledge is.
But would you agree or disagree that today's generation of realtors, today's generation of lenders feel like they need to be making money in everything that they're doing to, I don't even want to say entitlement. It's more of a,
Quick money.
And they've seen it on social media. So therefore
the problem is they're not, the problem is that the problems are not being put on social media. You're not seeing, you're not going to see the hours that I spent when I was a top producer at Horton. You're not going to see that I worked 17 days a week, 24 hours a day, getting calls at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, getting calls at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night during the week. Can you just do this pre-qual for me really quick? Can you do the masses? For me to close for that year that I had, my last year there where I closed 520 loans. For that year.
Boom. I remember
Insane.
that.
I had to do
Like,
12.
how?
It's crazy.
And I didn't have a team.
Right.
You know, the LOs just have one assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, you know, they don't do my prequals. I prequal my
No, you
own.
touched every file.
I get collect my own income documents, and then you hand it to the LOA who submits it to the underwriter. And then if it gets suspended, you're responsible for it to get it approved until it gets assigned to a loan processor.
Yeah.
That's how it was there. And so nobody sees the times when I'm coming and getting off at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And sometimes staying, when the office with the old location.
I saw because I was calling.
You did. And I loved him and his dad. Love working with the Pantuso family. But, you know, they don't see that. So because they see that and all they see now are just, hey, we got these cute home balloons and the decorations for people's closing date. But they don't see what the realtors and the loan officers are dealing with. If you want to be a volume realtor and a volume loan officer,
Right.
people want the volume and the paycheck.
Yes.
But then when you get into it and you realize the hours and the stress, if you don't have a barrier to be able to not, shall we say, absorb people's energies,
Yes.
you'll crack. Because for me, I'm not saying I'm cold-blooded, but I'm just saying I can sit on a phone and let you cry and let it all out. And I just let it out, honey, while I'm working.
Yep.
Okay, I hear you. Okay, gotcha. Some people retain all that sadness and negative energy and the pain.
Yeah.
And then they take that on to the next buyer.
Correct.
And the next buyer is wanting to talk to you and they're excited and ready to go, but they're hearing your energy because you just got brought down by this negative Nelly who's been blowing you up.
That's right.
And that same thing is with lenders, with realtors. You may have one realtor that feeds you a bunch of crap deals.
Yeah.
But you're that loan officer that's like, I want the business, I need it. And I teach them in time, all business is not good business.
Amen.
But what I tell you and what you learn are two totally different things. But in time, every loan officer that I have said that to has eventually been like, you were right. I had to cut off some ties with some realtors because they blew up my phone. They were bleeding me dry with 8, 9, 10 o'clock pre-quals at night. Then they were running to the builders, getting the incentives and the rate buy downs.
Yes, they didn't appreciate your time.
No.
They didn't respect what you do as your craft. And for those that are listening to this, watching right now and going, oh my God, 500 deals. Well, she was hand fed. Okay. My question to you is, when was the last time you closed 100?
Yeah. I mean,
I'll
just to
wait.
work
And in answer to
500.
that, technically, from an extent, just giving the DR Horton with Horton and their loan officers, you are to an extent correct. My numbers were obviously definitely
You
above
were
average.
definitely above average.
Because I was the number one loan officer in San Antonio and the number one in the nation for 2 years. Those numbers are way different.
Oh, sure.
And that is absolutely correct. As a builder loan officer, you are fed deals. As a DHI loan officer, you get what you're fed. You're
Sure.
not assigned communities. You're not assigned sales agents.
Right.
The business is brought to you.
Yep.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And then based on your skill level and your ability to call people back.
Sure.
But when I started at Horton and when I came there, I didn't know anybody. They found me on Career Builder. I never applied for them. I was a
But
branch
even
manager.
still, I don't want you to downplay what that is, because the idea of touching that many deals
Yes.
a lot
is
of experience.
not
A lot
only
of
experience, but you have to have your shit so together
Right.
and well segmented and streamlined that, man, that's a lot of transactions. And addition, I would imagine that your surveys are off the charts as well, because you're
surveys.
able to provide that great customer service, the solution-based oriented type loan officer, because let's face it, you don't get to that point closing your A paper deals.
Absolutely not.
You just don't.
DPA, TSHAC,
Absolutely.
TDHC, MCC, USDA, rapid rescores,
Whatever it
credit
takes.
repair, you are getting, with that demographic of buyer, you are getting everything.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I enjoy it. I loved it. That was a great time for me.
Sure.
Praise God. I'm blessed for it. But the thing about it is in regards to volume, everybody sees the numbers on social media
Yes.
for loan officer, top loan officer, or top realtor, and they want it. And then they get in it and they're crying at night from their stress. And
right.
that's what you don't see on social media. All the people in the last 25 years that I've known that have gotten divorces,
Absolutely.
who have unfortunately been able to not, see their children grow up. They don't show. They do show you the pictures of, oh, I'm at my kid's game on the weekend. Take a picture. And then when
Now
that camera goes down, that laptop comes right back up.
right.
And they're working while the kid is out there. And I'm not trying to say that every parent is not a good parent. Parents are amazing and blessed. But in this industry, as a realtor, sales agent, loan officer, if you want to be where you think I was or whatever, you are going to be unfortunately tied to a phone or a laptop.
Right. Sacrifice, tons of sacrifice.
And I didn't have children. My biggest kid was my husband, you know.
Yeah. Shout out, Jeff.
Okay? And he's
Good
in the
stuff.
industry. So because we speak the same language, it's easier. But
Now question for you, because my wife's in the industry as well. Did you guys, and this is super side note, just because I want to know,
yeah,
when you got home, did you guys talk about mortgage and real estate?
I did. I didn't give a damn.
I love it. I love it.
I'm like,
I can't. I couldn't do it. Now it's kind of inherent.
He tries not to. He gets the attitude. He's from New York. And I'm like, whatever. This hoe was pissing me off. And, calling me 25 times in a row. And the 26th time she called me, I didn't answer. It's like, oh, I can't reach you. Well, listen, honey, I've been talking to you
It's her time to
since
vent.
7 o'clock in the morning.
She had to vent.
It's
You
the
can't
truth.
blame her. She's
It's
venting.
the truth. But
That's
yes,
right.
I still would. And he would try to shut it down, but he couldn't. It's when you do certain volumes, it's in your blood.
Yeah.
7 days a week, like on the weekends. But I absolutely loved my coworkers.
Sure.
That's the trick.
That's a huge bonus.
The sales agents that I have worked with have been family. Like I have seen their kids grow up. I have been to their weddings. I have been to other things and parties. And when you have that love for them, I don't care if you're calling me 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, because you're not calling me to check to see how my hair looks.
Yes.
You're calling me because we're about to make some money. And because I love working with you, I'm like, let's go.
That's
Let's
right.
go. I enjoyed
And
it.
that actually brings up another point or question of topic, which is the concept of relationship building.
That's key.
Back when I was doing gunslinging type loans, not the numbers that you were, but by golly, they were pretty good numbers. It was built off of relationships, give and take, reciprocation, respecting one another, knowing what the other side has to go through to get that deal across the finish line. Not just the lender, not just the realtor, but collaboratively, including the listing agent. It was built on relationships. Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, and then do it. Are you seeing a difference? And this is for you, Austin, because you get to deal with the most of the realtor side of things. You've got realtors underneath you.
And that's where the disconnect's at right now.
Yeah.
That's where the disconnect, right? Social media doesn't help that. And I tell people, like, if you can learn how to generate referral business, you never really have to market a day in your life. You should be marketing still,
Sure.
right? But you don't have to. And I tell all our agents, like, my clients, they become my friends and then they become my family.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how I operate. And I mean, they're like my family. You know, I do anything for them. I'm going to their kids' birthdays. Right?
Yes.
And we're spending holidays together and they're coming to my house and I'm thinking about them all the time. I'll call them and just to check on them because I genuinely care. They know if you don't really care and you're just calling to try and get business out of them. And I'm never, if it's just transactional, and I'm never doing that. Like I really care about them. And I think, like we were talking about realtors wanting money for every little thing they do.
Yes.
I think it's just, it depends on their life situation, right? If they have bills to pay, it's hard not to think that way, right? To think, hey, I have to get paid for what I'm doing, right? And I need to make money to pay for my car or my kid's school or whatever it may be. So being able to switch that off and not think about the commission of the money and consider your client only, that is the key to success. It really is.
Well, now you're talking about something a little bit deeper than the surface level. And that's the idea of, if that is your concern, if that is your struggle at the moment, is this the right industry for you? And the reason why, and I'll preface and frame this as much as I possibly can, I was on a social media group for lenders, and somebody commented or put a post out and said something along the lines of, is it possible to be a top producing lender part-time? And you've got all these people going, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, go for it. And then finally I saw somebody say, absolutely not. Like, what are you thinking? This is an industry where you've got to give it your all. I came back behind them and said, okay, so if you, part-timer, are the one that is the customer now, do you want to work with somebody that's doing this part-time and part-time of the deals and part-time of the experience?
But it's a double-edged sword, right? What if you want to get into the industry, but most people live paycheck to paycheck? Y'all know that better than anyone. A lot of people do. Yeah. Right.
And is not the first one of recommendations or tips that realtors give, that lenders give? If you're getting into this business, make sure to save up at least 3 to 6 months.
That's usually what they say. But most people can't even do that.
I agree.
Right? And they want to get into the business. So
why? Because they saw something on social media, somebody flashing their closings,
or whatever, right? They think it's easy, and I understand that, right? But that shouldn't be a reason why you don't try. It's just you have to be prepared for that. This is a business where you crawl before you walk before you run, and you run before you fly. It takes a very long time to. I remember 5 years in, I was thinking, man, if I can just close like one home a month, I'll be doing really, really good. You know, one home, and that's 5 years in. 5 years in, right? And don't get me wrong, I got in 2007, right? When the bubble burst, so that didn't help. But that's kind of like we're in like a 2014 market right now, right? 2015 market. It's a lot slower than it was, right? So
2014
to 15,
I was in there. We were killing it.
And don't get me wrong, it was still good. It's not bad. It's just it's not 2022. It's not 21.
I'd have to say that the sentiment and perspective and perception of potential homeowners, buyers, is totally different than what it was back then. There was not as much mass social media. There was not as much talk about politics everywhere you look. The idea of information being readily available, good, bad, or indifferent, they're going to find it formulating their own opinions. Whereas back then, your parents were still telling you the best thing you can do is buy a home.
Is buy, and it's funny, you see a lot of like big gurus on finance say that you shouldn't buy a home.
Oh my God. I'm going, huh?
I completely disagree.
I have to as well.
It's one of the reasons why, at least for me, why I thank God that I've been somewhat successful because I own real estate.
That's right.
So financially, if that makes sense. So
one
of my best investments.
The rates go down, the pricing is all going to skyrocket and go up.
Sure.
Can you explain that topic real quick for the folks in the back?
For the people in the back.
Yes, please.
I mean, bottom line is when those rates start going down, it turns quickly into a seller's market. Sellers know that the buyers are going to flood out.
That's right.
They are going to raise the prices of their homes because that is inevitable. That's what's going to happen. So you're just going to have an offset of, okay, great. Now you're back to getting a 4% rate or a 3.99, which is no longer being bought down by the builder.
Correct.
It's market rate.
Yep.
That's going to happen.
That's
and
exactly
then now
right.
the seller's just going to skyrocket their prices because there's going to be more buyers out there that can buy.
That's right.
And then you're going to go back into another situation of a COVID situation. Everybody overbidding, outbidding homes. Then you're going to go into the situation that we're in now post-COVID of a bunch of people having negative equity because they bought too high during COVID because there was price gouging.
Yes.
And so now you got people, I can tell you this year I've had 3 people come back to me that I did during COVID. They're getting divorced now. And they cannot sell their homes.
No, because they're competing against the builder.
2021 to 22, you're going to have trouble. Right?
Yes.
You're going to have trouble.
19 to 20, I would say 19 to 23, just about. 23 was the ending cusp.
It really took off in like late 2020. I have people selling homes in 2019 around there that they're okay.
2019 was a damn good year. I bought mine in 2019.
But 2020 is when it really blasted.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Is when it really took off. And we're at because I'm big on stats. We talk about stats all the time, right?
Absolutely.
So we're at like about a 10% decrease from the peak right, of the market for prices.
And would you consider that a correction?
I wouldn't consider it a correction. No, I would consider it. I wouldn't say a correction. That's just more back to norm. Things got out, something that we've never seen before. My dad's been doing it 42 years. He's never seen that happen.
So does not back to norm mean correcting?
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't consider it a correction. Things got way out of hand.
They did.
They got way out of hand.
It's a little bit of all the above. I understand. It's playing with, it's wordplay.
Yes.
But yes, it's
what are they called?
It kind of is. I mean,
giving people a gut check. It's really 2025 is a gut check. It's really putting a halt on the COVID years, unrealistic interest rates, unrealistic purchase prices. 2025 is just really just putting a halt to the cray-cray. The thing about it is the explosion that you're seeing in the industry though are young people.
Yes.
So young people don't have the historical data to say, hey guys, guess what? These rates are good.
That's
not that they're not knowledgeable and they can't get it. That's not fair to generalize everybody, but most of the people that we're dealing with don't have the historical data that they're trained to say, hey, 5 and 6% are actually great. Because I remember when I was quoting 5.75 and 5.5, like back in my head, 'cause that was great.
Okay. So this is where I'm going to disagree. Okay. I'm going to disagree on this.
Do it, Austin. Do it.
So, and here's why. So, because you got the argument, oh, rates were 18% in the 80s, whatever it may be.
I
right?
know
That's
where you're
usually
going with this.
That's what people. That's what usually people say, right? And
yes, and then they talk about the housing was different prices, et cetera.
That is
income
key.
different.
That's key. So even at 5 or 6%, when you're doing a builder rate and you're getting 399 or whatever, right?
But
we're also not making 20 grand.
That's fabulous.
You know,
I understand.
So
I understand. But in San Antonio, when the average person makes what, 28K a year?
Incorrect.
Right?
That's
what are they making?
incorrect.
30K a year? What are they making?
No.
65,000.
One person.
60 to 65,000. And here's the problem with the stats that people blab, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you include ages 18 to ages 20 something, 20,
I think
those are still beginner jobs. So you can't
key.
do that. I mean, you bought a young age. I bought at a young age. We are the what is it called? The anomaly.
The exception to the rule. But they are saying that the home buying age is going higher and higher
most definitely.
for first time home buyers.
And younger and younger.
So that's an issue. So you're right. The older generation, they're doing okay, but the younger generation, in my opinion, they're getting decimated right now. They're having trouble. Because I help a lot of those buyers.
I personally think that that's the problem right there with those people is we're having that sympathy to say, hey, you're having a tough time. And I know affordable housing is tough, but they're also unwilling to go, you know what? It's my first home. Let me go find that $150,000 house that I can actually afford. It might be a shit show.
That's what I'm saying. Where are you going to go find that?
They're there.
Where are you going to find?
They're there.
They're
Are we saying
very
the L
difficult.
word today?
They're very difficult.
Are we saying
to
the
find
L word?
To it.
Yeah.
Lennar?
I mean,
They're there.
Not
they
that I'm
are
trying to
there.
sell them.
But the
yes.
mindset and the sentiment is still stuck in 2020, 2021 of I can buy 300,000 and it's only going to be a $1,700 payment.
And it's not.
It's
Correct.
just not.
That's
it
right.
never
It's
should have
That's
been.
where
though.
the education comes in from the
Yes.
real estate community. And not that the lenders are not responsible. You are. But usually the
Absolutely.
first touch,
Yep.
I would say what, a good 80-85% is from the realtor first.
Yes.
Because I mean, let's just
Look,
keep it
all you got to
real.
do is scroll on social
Lenders
media.
are not out there. Lenders are not out there flooding the realtors of business. That's not true.
No,
the
not at all.
realtors are the usually 80 to 85% the first touch.
Yep.
So the more educated that first touch is, because when they get with the lender, usually it's over phone, it's over text. It's very rarely it's face to face. So that realtor is usually going to be with them, holding their hand. You're out there in the trenches,
Yes.
showing them homes.
Yep.
You're going to have the tightest bond initially. So the more educated they are upfront with the realtor,
Yes.
the better.
I agree. But this is your forte. Okay, you got an average young person making like 5K a month, right?
That's
Usually
pretty good.
About
That's
right.
pretty
That's
Sure.
decent, right?
Yeah.
5K a month. So this would be,
And what's
let's say
sad-
like 27,
I'll
28.
remember it.
27, 28, right? And then they're looking for a decent home, right? And if you're under 200K, it is rough out there. It
And
is
do you
very,
want,
very
do you
rough.
want to know why it's even rougher for that age demographic?
Explain. Go. I'm
Because
listening.
they've got $1,000 car payment.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So they have a car payment, right? And then they have all their other bills or whatever else they took out, right? So that is the issue. And that's where they have their DTI problems. And if you're looking for under 200K, it's extremely rough. So what's your payment? It's going to be a little under 1% of whatever the sales price is for current rates. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Right? So
Right
you're looking
around
at
there.
like a $2,000 a month payment for maybe a 230 home here in Texas. 'cause property
And that
taxes are
would
high.
not be a bad deal if, okay, number one, if they understood the concept of I can refinance later. I don't like the marry the home date.
But they have the car payment and then they're pushing DTIs and they don't qualify, right? Or they're really pushing the limit.
If we had more
Facts.
lenders that when they jumped on the Zoom call with the borrower and said, first thing out the gate is, I'm going to review your credit with you. Let's go through these trade lines.
Most lenders don't want to do that.
Hell no, they. I'm
Except
telling
for
you.
you. Except for you.
I do that. I don't care who you are.
That's why you're awesome, man.
I'm gonna
Like,
go
no,
through your
and-
shit.
And I know several lenders out there. They do.
Sure.
'Cause you
A
gotta
lot
know
of
what
lenders
you got to know. Let's for the people in the back. DTI is debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's
Thank you
refrain
for-
from jargon,
yes.
gentlemen.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. And the idea of they're trusting in me to give them the advice, and whatever advice, I'm always going to steer towards buying a home unless their situation, you're not ready. You're not ready to buy a home. You probably should rent and knock out some of this debt, But I'm also the person that will tell them, okay, so you're literally telling me that $2,000 a month is too much, but I'm looking at your credit report right now. Hold on, let me share screen. Bang.
Yeah, and this is what
are you seeing? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah,
okay, great. You got an $800 car. You can't live in your car. And they look at me like, and then I tell them, let's create a plan to put you in a position that maybe in the next 5 years, you can go buy this car again.
Yeah. And buy a house.
Because right now, I think I need you to get rid of that car.
Or refinance the car. A lot of people have really high rates.
But then that again is setting the expectations incorrectly. Like you don't deserve this car right now.
Sure, you should have a house.
How about
first,
that? Thank you. Yes, that's kind of what I'm getting to. Is
social media doesn't allow that. That's the problem with. There's so many issues. I'm not going into politics. I'm just going to keep it real general and basic. The world today is not allowing people the opportunity or the mental opportunity to grow or build. You've got so many corporations and companies that, oh, you've already been here 5-7 years. We're going to lay you off. We're going to let you go.
Yep.
Whereas back in the day, our parents were on jobs for 15, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
The companies are not keeping people on their jobs. So then why would the youth want to climb a ladder?
You're right.
When the ladder is chopped off
It's
by
broken.
the corporation. People are buying each other out. There's so the attitude of let me work hard for something is almost shot.
Yeah.
And then combine that with in conjunction of social media where, hey, if I get enough likes, if I get enough followers, I can be the next millionaire. So then I want to, and then the problem is that you get all these new people that, over the last 5-7 years, now they're in income brackets they've never been before, but nobody is telling you, don't live off of your current great month.
That's right.
Don't live off of your current great year.
Right.
I remember back in the day, when I was fresh off the boat in the business and we were surrounded by a bunch of people in the car business, making 30, 40, 50,000 a month. And a lot of them now are all broke, retired. They were renting. They were going through
by the end of the month,
the year, they were going through a bunch of cars because they had cars off the lot.
Yep.
They don't even have what they had. They were flossing at the time.
Correct.
I never followed their lead. At that young age, early 20s, I always asked, what were your regrets? What should you be doing? And it was like, hey, if this month you have a great month, and let's just say, you're young back then, you make $8,000 that month.
Yeah.
Don't live at $8,000. Don't go out and upgrade your car.
Sure.
Don't go out and instantly upgrade your house. Because if you did have a big month, well, guess what? If you go and instantly upgrade everything, well, then now you got a demotion.
Absolutely.
Because now you tripled your debt.
Yes.
You had a great month, but you didn't have the consistency.
In addition to a false expectation of real life, because let's face it, if you're not a top producer mentality, meaning that big month, that was the first of very many. This is what I do from now on because my needle moving activities are not going to change because that's what got me that big month.
Right.
So it's a trailing what you do today isn't going to happen for 60 days concept. If they are riding the roller coaster, we know it, big month, low month, big month, low month. These days it's low month, big month, low month, big month. You're setting yourself up for failure.
It's the education system though. I mean, think about even in school, right? They don't teach you really anything about finance, how to manage your money, none of that, right? It's all pushing consumerism, being your own aspiring emperor, right? That's
correct.
What they push out on social media, right? Now you got to have the nice stuff.
It's the flash.
Show off. It's the
Pulling
flash,
up in
right?
the car.
And I was saying, don't go broke trying to look rich, right? That's the saying.
Because half the time you don't, and especially by being on the lending side, as you and I
we get to see it all.
We see, because I remember how many times I'm seeing people pull up with the cars, with the purse, whatever, and they got 10 pages of credit card debt.
Yes.
And I'm like, bleh, why do you have $5,000 in your savings account, but yet you're trying to go get this mortgage payment that's $6,000 a month. You got $5,000 saved. You got to save for your down payment, and you're trying to buy a home that's $600,000, $700,000.
Yes. Why?
And household debt's at all-time highs.
And the reason for that, I believe, I don't know this to be factual, but I believe, and it's the same reason why you have people with a 400 credit score even applying for a home, okay? Because everybody to that point has said yes, and yes, and yes, and yes, and now they just ran out, when in actuality, they did it all backwards. Yes to the clothes, yes to the car, yes to the this, yes to the that. Now you're screwing this up. Now it's time to actually buy a home because you've got a family now, maybe. I don't know. Oh, man, you can't because you did it backwards.
Lack of knowledge. It's just, and unfortunately, it is also unfortunately generational.
Okay.
To know where if you're just taught, hey, I got a roof over my head, I've got food on my table, I'm good to go. Everything else is frivolous. That's why I don't pay my affirms. That's why I don't pay my Klarnas. That's why I don't pay those back, because I'm paying the important stuff that I need. Well, that's just generational curses.
Correct.
They're not teaching you like for me during COVID. Yes, I did have the opportunity during COVID to go ahead and sell my current house and do the upgrades.
Yeah.
Get the bigger house. And my husband, I finally just sat back and was like, you got to get into a for what era.
Yeah.
Take a step. When you get that burning in you to buy something, take a step back and say, for what?
For what and for who?
For what? Okay, yes. You don't have a mortgage. Okay, so now you want to go from 3,000 to a 6,000 square foot home. For what? Now I'm locked into having to make a certain amount of money.
Yes.
Now I'm locked into have to work certain hours
right.
to maintain this. Again, for what? If my husband and I don't fully utilize our house that we have already, then why did you get the newest thing? Why did you upgrade? And this is with anything, because I love shoes.
You're right.
I love purses.
Yep.
But me being 48, just being honest, I was having this conversation with several young people recently, and that life is kind of like a rainbow. I had a conversation with you about this, that when you're younger and you're broke and you don't have anything, you think you have the world because you're eating them peanut butter jelly sandwiches, you're fed, you're happy, you're in the streets running around with your friends. You're great. Then you get to an era to when you're in your 20s and you're supposed to I'm supposed to get all these accolades. I'm supposed to get this. I'm supposed to have this car. I'm supposed to floss these clothes. I'm supposed to floss this purse. I'm supposed to take that picture with my fingernails up on the steering wheel like all the girls do with the Mercedes emblem in the background. Hashtag aesthetic. Then you get into your 30s and it's like, oh, okay, you're learning more and more and more and you're getting so much crap.
Yes.
And now you're spending so much time working hard. The crap you got has dust on it.
Yeah.
Then you get into your 40s and honey, you are downgrading. You are trying to get rid of everything. You want the one story, you've already had it. You're decluttering because you realize that your most happiness was in simplicity. When I was young and had nothing.
Less is more.
Less is more. Simplicity.
Less is more.
But you can't be told that. I've told that to many people.
You're right.
You can't be told that. You have to go through it because they're like, oh, you've already had the awards. You've had the accolades. You've da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, baby, thank God I didn't have kids. If I had kids, I'm sorry. If I did have kids and I lost all those years with those kids and now those kids are teenagers and I lost all those years, I would be sad, but I chose not to. That was just not my joy in life. But to be in your late 40s and just want to declutter, I can see why people go RVing, sell everything and just hit the road. How many times do you go on your vacations and you are your happiest? You have just enough food.
Just about every time.
You got just enough clothes. You got a great view.
That's right.
And you are relaxed and
don't care what you look like. You're right.
Yep.
And then you come back to the world and you're like,
Reality.
Simplicity, honestly, but I can say that all day long, but people don't listen.
Now, you saying all of that, how can we tie that or relate that back to our industry from a professional level? Simplicity. The idea of, to me, comes up the idea of going back to the basics. And a lot of, you mentioned it at the beginning of this, realtors, lenders, they never got to learn what the basics are. But even if they did, like Casey was mentioning, are those the same basics that they are today? Well, open houses still work. The idea of mailers, if you're consistent, those still work.
They sure do.
Door knocking still works. Pop buys. Well, when was the last time you went by a community and said, hi, I'm such and such. This is what I do for a living. You may not have anything right now, but I'll be back next week.
Yeah. All the time that works. You always got to be networking.
But who's doing it?
Not a lot of people. Yeah. And that's what we tell everyone, all of our agents. No one's going to wake you up in the morning and hold your hand and tell you what to do. That is the most difficult thing about our industry, right? Because there's no set game plan for each day. You have to wake up and go find it.
And why is that, Austin? We talked about it with Tomas.
Because you're self-employed.
You're self-employed. That's right.
That's it. It's simple.
And I think that there are plenty out there that still see it as a job and not as their own business.
Well, people don't understand the magnitude of being self-employed. That's also the thing. You don't understand that you are responsible for waking up in the morning and getting your day started.
Yes.
If you start your morning and it's started with 2 to 3 hours of social media, watching others be successful.
Yes.
And then you get in your car and then you're making calls and then you're trying to figure life out. If your day is not planned out the right way, but people have to train you, they have to show you how to plan your day.
Yes.
And then, but the problem is it's the 1 and 2 percenters are doing amazing. They're bringing in droves of people, but it's who's sitting down with them. And I'm telling you, the questions that I get from this new wave of realtors that I hear are.
What are these questions? I want to hear these. Tell me these questions.
We got 5 more minutes.
What are they asking?
They're very it's the basics are kind of sad. The basics are sad. But going back, I'll go back to basics.
Yes.
If my buyer goes and wants to buy this new car, will that be a problem? That can go both ways. Hey, they're probably just seeing if they have more room in the DTI, to buy a car. Well, instead of flat out saying don't buy
Don't buy anything
process.
until
With me,
you get your house.
if an agent is this is just me. If an agent is asking me that question, I'm going to tell that agent, have your buyer call me and stop asking you lending questions. Number one, that's not your lane. So if you are about to take this information from me and then turn it into whatever your telephone, right, is telling you that I said, incorrect. Stop that. Why do you feel like you need to be the intermediary when it comes to the financing side of things?
So to speak on that,
yes,
you are partially correct.
Okay.
The reason why is also you want to answer the question to the realtor, educate the realtor.
Oh, most definitely.
And
yes.
then tell them, have them call me.
Yes, right.
Because
Most definitely.
the more educated the realtor is on the lending side, a lot of times those buyers, even though they're meeting you and that is your expertise.
No, you are correct.
They keep calling the realtor.
That's right.
They
Yeah,
keep
that's
calling
right.
the
They sure
sales
do.
agent.
They
So the
sure
more
do.
knowledgeable that realtor and sales agent is, even though it's not their job.
It's a good way to look at it.
Our
I totally
job.
agree.
That's
It's
a
not
really
our
good way to
job
look
to
at it.
sell the houses. But when we get that,
It's a good way to look
you
at
know
it.
how many times
Absolutely.
the buyer has buyer remorse,
Yep.
and we on the lending side are reselling the house that they're
is
under
correct.
contract. Everybody needs to have a piece of knowledge of everybody's industry. And that's what I chose to do. So that way, when somebody did come to me, I knew the answer on all ends.
Yeah.
Real estate, builder, inspections, third-party inspections.
You know who does a great job of that? The entire time I've ever known him in this industry, this guy right here.
We do it together. We work as a team.
We have worked together. I know.
This is a pretty
Yeah.
solid brain trust, and he's been doing that for years. And I would feel comfortable him answering a lending question, but he also knows that, you know what?
But he didn't start that way.
Correct.
I
Correct.
didn't know much about
He
lending.
also
Y'all taught me.
He had a dad
Yeah.
that was been in the business as well. So that's again generational knowledge, and then him feeding off of us and learning. But people have to have that ability
peers.
to be able to do that.
First
gotta
mistake is you thought he was listening to his dad back then when we were younger. Not until he got in and started earning his stripes.
But I asked both y'all a lot of questions.
For sure.
If I want to know and I can learn something new, I always try and learn something new.
Most
It's
definitely.
important. But before we go back to getting into the business being brand new, I think it's important knowing what the market conditions are, statistics, knowing what you're getting into before you fully dive in.
Yeah.
Right. That's important. How many LOs were there in like COVID time compared to now? Like 295 and
there was
95,000?
ton.
Right.
Yeah.
So we dropped about 200K LOs
Yeah.
nationwide.
There's about 160 left.
So that's, I mean, it's still a
160,000.
decent amount, but we dropped what, almost half?
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
That's a
Still
lot.
the refi boom. A lot of the refis.
That's a lot. Right?
And
That's a
like
whole
you
lot.
said, top 10%
Sure.
does most of
Are
it.
hanging out at Realtors, San Antonio Metro. We dropped like 6,000. We were at like 16, 17,000. Now we're down to like 12, right around there.
I agree.
So, so 5, 6.
So we're gonna say the basics.
So
Just to get straight to the point, for people that want to get in the business, whether you're a loan officer or you're a realtor, the basics are everything.
Yes.
The basics: answering your phone, returning calls. Don't just be a texter.
That's right.
People are so used to everything being so technological and call center-ish. Be a person that calls.
That's right.
Let me hear your voice. Let me hear the inflection. Let me understand that, okay, yeah, I just get that text from you, but now because I know you and your personality, I know what that text meant.
That's
The
right.
basics. Follow up. And the best thing about that is don't tell somebody you're going to call them back that day.
Right. There's no need.
Give fabricated timelines like, hey, your loan's going to come out of underwriting in 6 days.
Yes.
That way, when it comes out in 48 hours, you've superseded their expectations.
Amen.
Even though you know it's going to come out in 48 hours.
Yes.
Give elongated timeframes
Yes.
because everybody is on 10. Everybody needs everything yesterday. Everybody's anxiety ridden. I don't care who you are. So then give elongated expectations.
I love that.
And then for those that you know, be like, yo, bro, I'm going to call you back today.
That's right.
But for new people you don't know, give elongated expectations. And then you will supersede their expectations when you come in quicker.
well, that and you're not constantly behind,
Right.
constantly chasing your tail, trying to
the
figure out the
basics.
next lie that you have to tell them because what you said was improper to begin with, but you don't want to fess up to the fact that, hey, I set some bad expectations.
And stick to all money is not good money. Get rid of the realtor that is blowing up your phone and feeding you a bunch of bad deals, because that is what's keeping you up late at night and sleepless and stressed out, anxiety because you want to please.
Yeah.
Well, then when you remove that negative energy, you will be surprised as to how your business doubles and triples.
Same thing goes with clients.
Yes.
Literally.
Same thing applies to
Let
clients.
it go. Reassign the person.
You got to really know.
It's not disrespectful.
If someone were to ask you guys, is this a good time to get into real estate, either for a loan officer or a realtor, what would you tell them?
I would say yes.
I'd say it's
why?
always a good
And why?
time.
Yes.
If your intention is to learn your craft, become the best or as good as you possibly can be, and commit. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to is commit. Don't dip your toe in. Jump into that water.
But isn't the stat like 70% of realtors nationwide didn't sell a home this year?
Absolutely.
But who am I to tell you that you're going to be part of the lower end? If you get the knowledge and you get the right
70%
surroundings,
is 7
if
out of
you
10.
get the knowledge and the right surroundings, you could be part of the top. But who am I to tell you that you're not going to be one of the
Put
top?
it this way. Could you imagine if somebody would have told me that when I got in?
You probably wouldn't have done it. And we're not here to discourage people.
Bullshit.
You would have still
I
done it.
would have probably closed more.
You would have said, hey, I'm going to go knock it out of the park.
Correct.
And do it.
Because I did, and that was to prove my dad wrong concept versus shit. Now I can prove him wrong too.
that
I'd have
makes
had
sense.
more fuel. But it's also a mindset.
Did you know that 80% of all archaeologists are women? Did you know that?
That's exciting. Austin,
Did you know that?
Oh my
Do
God.
you know why that is?
why is that?
Because they're really good at digging up the past.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen,
I knew that. Guys, I knew it. Guys and gals listening, this was probably one of the funnest discussions I've had in quite some time. Lots of real talk.
I thought it's because we were dealing with old bullshit.
Don't bring up the past. That's awesome.
I had to put it out there.
I think I'm going to invite these two back so we can bring up a different discussion because that was the realest that we've been on here in quite some time. And I'm not saying that we're not real, but the ability to just be yourself right here. I appreciate both of you for doing that.
You're going to cry in this industry.
It's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
shed
But it
a
can be
tear,
very
you ain't doing
rewarding. It can be
Oh,
very rewarding.
I've heard you. Tears and rewards.
Yeah.
Meow, meow, meow.
And don't take that joke offensive. I love one.
Oh,
I love my mom.
And we love you. Guys, gals, thanks for subscribing. As always, I commit to bringing you additional guests just like this that will share their stories, share their thoughts, fully transparent, real talk always. Thank you both for joining me again. And to you out there, we'll catch you on the next one. If you're still sending out pre-approval letters and praying your realtor send you the next lead, you're already behind.
Top producers are winning because they're giving their agents more than just rate sheets and donuts. They're giving them LoanBot. With LoanBot, you can offer realtors a white-labeled, co-branded digital mortgage tool that they send straight to their buyers. It's like giving them a mini loan officer in their pocket. Available 24/7, fully loaded, and branded with your name and their trust. Buyers can self-diagnose, compare loan programs, check real numbers, search properties, and explore down payment assistance without blowing you up at 10 p.m. And the best part? You see everything, every scenario, every lead, every milestone. You're looped in the whole way. LoanBot isn't a widget. It's the referral machine you've been waiting for. Here's the deal. Your realtors can get it from us directly for $9.99 a month. But it'd be in your best interest if they got it from you. Either way, they're going to get it. White labeled, co-branded, transparent, and more.
Sign up for your demo with our team of innovators.